Welcome. Today we're here with Sherry Roeder, who is a student about to graduate from our Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition program. Hi, Sherry.
Hello.
Thanks for meeting with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. I totally believe in continuing education. So throughout my life, even as a mother, a wife, a grandmother now, I just feel it's important to keep learning and helping ourselves, helping our families and friends. And then that goes to our work, our businesses. And I do own my own business. I have a skincare clinic and I work very holistically. And so I've always had an interest in natural health and well-being from the inside and out. And so I just, my whole life I've been interested in that. So my daughter calls me Dr. Mom. And so she, even at 33, she still calls me, Mom, what should I do? And so, so I do enjoy being kind of that person in our family, and family is super important to me, and just keeping all those relationships going.
Well, that's great. I think sometimes the hardest struggle for a person in the healing profession is to reach their own family. You know, it's like,
They're
it's
coming
easier
around.
to, yeah. I mean, I think that's something you should be extremely proud of. If your daughter comes and asks you for health advice, I would say that you're probably in the top 1% of practitioners. So that's a rare and beautiful thing. And so what I hear you say is that you're that you're a continual learner, but also that you're a people person. And I think that to me that's something very interesting about Ayurveda as a profession, is that it tends to attract people who love health but are primarily people.
Yeah.
There's certain warmth to Ayurveda that I think of as unique and that attracts people. Now, like, I've met a lot of herbalists who love plants more than people.
Oh, no.
or like a surgeon that's very technical, but not necessarily isn't always necessarily humanitarian. I mean, there are obviously many medical doctors that are very humanitarian as well. But it's just something that's always attracted me to the Ayurveda profession is that there's a sort of, it attracts people who love people. And so it's nice to hear you echo that. So yeah, how did you first get interested in Ayurveda? Like, what was the spark?
Well, actually, it is a long journey, but now that I'm here, I had been interested in many different types of alternative medicine and wellness. And I've always been, interested in whole foods, holistic treatments. And I had heard of Ayurveda over the years. And, just, here and there, I'd hear of different spices that were important and different herbs for healing. Because I had learned about Chinese herbalism and some other things with aromatherapy. But then I had a chiropractor come into my life, and she was helping me with Lyme disease. And I said, what is the next step? What is going to really drill down, just really help, whatever situation is going on? And she mentioned the School of Joyful Belly. And I started my research and I fell in love with Ayurveda. I didn't even know much about it, but it just hit home with, this is for me. And just in every aspect of my life, it just felt very comfortable. And so, like I said, I didn't know too much about it, but already I had a connection just by doing the intro, listening to John's interviews, at the beginning. And I just felt connected right there. So that
so
was
in a way
about 2 years ago. So I researched you guys for a year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we passed the test of like your due diligence. So, so you learned Ayurveda through the Joyful Belly website?
I did, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay, well, that's very exciting to hear. We always try to, you know, produce something of great value, and I'm glad that, you know, on the other end, you know, you benefited from it. So that's great.
Right. Yes.
Great. So then when did you make that transition from I'm interested in Ayurveda generally to wanting to sign up to a professional program and maybe even potentially practicing? Like, did you have was there suddenly like a vision that you had for using Ayurveda professionally, that, you know, or just a point where that transition came?
I think the transition was actually a little more gradual than kind of a light bulb, because I was looking at Ayurveda as something to just help my lifestyle and wellness journey. And then it did kind of dawn on me that, wow, I've got all these skincare clients who are having digestive issues. And then I thought, wow, I can really transfer this knowledge to them. And then I started thinking about, oh, well, I should go to school for this and really do it right. Not just, oh, I heard about this or I heard about that. I wanted to be more knowledgeable so that I could truly give the benefit to my clients and truly help them. So the transition was, you know, a little bit gradual, but then yes, it was, oh, I need to share this. And in a professional setting, you know, I already had this business. I know we can share this, you know, personally with family, friends, but as part of a business, I thought that I could help more people.
Yeah, on a total different level, on a total deeper level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, and then you started the program, and what was your life like as a student? I mean, you know, was it like put the rest of your life on hold and jump into this challenging program, or was it, you know, did you feel like you were able to, what was student life like? Where you learned, was it inspiring?
Student life did change my life. I have to be honest that I did have to change a few things. You know, I had to have the support of my husband, which he was totally on board. He's like, do whatever you need to do and I'll, you know, I'm going along with you and I will support you. And but I did change my work schedule a little bit, so I am thankful I was able to do that. But it really wasn't that difficult for me to change my work schedule. I think anybody really can do this no matter what your schedule is. I just think just really engage your family in this. And but the one thing, you know, I thought, oh, I know about herbs or alternative medicine and different things. I know about anatomy, but this is a new way of learning. So it was a little bit of a surprise, like, oh, this is all new. So in that way, it was very exciting that this was totally new, but yet old. It's kind of hard to describe. It's not new age, but it was new to me. And the learning curve at my age, I was like, can I do this? Can I do this? And yes, anybody can do it. Even in, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, second, third career, first career, it doesn't matter. It's just, I believe anybody can do this.
Yeah, and it's a little bit like, you know, no one would say, oh, I'm too old to learn how to like have, you know, emotional stability, right? Like you would never say, oh, I'm too learned to learn how to be a better person mentally or emotionally. And I think Ayurveda, its approach is similar, and that it's something that it's not just like technical knowledge. You know, like if you were to get a Western medical degree, it would be extremely technical, every bit of your education. And you might say, okay, well, that's to wrap my head around that is maybe something that, it feels like it's too much to handle. But Ayurveda is not like that. Ayurveda, being a holistic model, or even a way of understanding the body, or an approach to the body, I think is sort of it's accessible to anyone, I think, at any age, and can greatly help their just everyday living. And so yeah, I think that it's great that you say that it is something that anyone can tackle at any age, and should tackle at any age. It's
Right.
not, it's not like becoming a neuroscientist. It's more like emotional wellness. And yeah, so it's not something you should shy away from even if you've learned a lot of other things in your life. It's fundamental. Yeah. And you said that you needed the support of your hubby, and to engage your family. And that's something that I try to talk to any prospective student about in the program, because most students are focused on like, oh, do I have enough time to do the course, or do I have enough money to do the course? Can I afford tuition? And often they forget about, well, do you have the support of other people in your community? And how do you approach them with studying something that they may not have heard of before? If you're changing your work schedule with your employer, or whether it's a significant other in your life, it's great to, have that conversation with them, so that they know there's going to be a little bit of a change that's coming.
Yes.
And I think that's helpful to involve them in planning your routine for the course and all that, because that is what makes it smooth and not jarring to their life when when you're learning. So yeah, it's good to recognize that. So challenges. Were there any big challenges during the course?
There were.
Okay, let's hear it.
So as we all know, what's going on right now, I did go through COVID, and probably about 2.5 months worth of getting back my health. And that was very challenging to go through something quite severe, and then still feeling that need of keeping up. And the challenge was giving myself permission to care for myself. I mean, that is what I'm learning in Ayurveda is, first, care for yourself, get back to the basics. And part of me sort of felt guilty for taking time off or not keeping up, so to speak, as well as I thought I should. And so that was the challenge. Like, well, what is this all about? And really, it was a mindset change. And it was a gift, I think, even though, going through an illness during this time, it was still a gift to have it happen during this time, because just, with John, you and the other instructors being so caring and understanding, and just a real change, a shift, I would say, in working with people. And it's all, it's all working out. But just going through that it was very interesting, because while I was going through that change in mindset, I realized what I was going through. So it was a good change in spirit, physical and emotional. Like you said, this is emotional. It's not just, oh, my digestion is gonna get better. It's everything. So the challenge was the mindset, and it was good, really good.
Yeah, okay, so that is significant. So you said that you're out for 2.5 months. Did you feel like you know, when you did take that break, that, you know, the sort of, that a house of cards came tumbling down in terms of your studies in the course? Or did you feel like, you know, it was easy to, you know, to kind of step out, not feel like you were going to be, you know, penalized or anything like that, or, and then you could just come back in when when things were settled again?
Yes, as soon as I realized for my own self, my own way of thinking, that it'll be okay and you can come back and
Yeah,
take a
yeah,
break, let yourself,
yeah,
you know, get better. You know, I did make it to the live classes, and I thought that's my goal. Even if I'm, you know, going through this, I'm going to make it to those classes and then just, you know, talk to the instructors, and I'm just going to ask for this extension for my homework. And it was very nice. It was such a blessing to have people supporting you on the other end. And so I felt it was pretty easy to jump back in. And, but I was still listening in the background, you know, as far as while I'm healing, um, I'm still taking in all this information because it's helping me. And
yeah,
yeah, some of these herbs that we're studying were so enlightening, and, you know, opened my mind to just, um, better health and more options. And some of them were just directly related to what I was going through. So I was able to experiment with some of them and realize, oh, there's a whole new world of healthcare and wellness that, you know, we have available to us. So in
yeah.
a way, it was a good
Okay, yeah.
thing. It was kind of good because I really got to use these things firsthand.
Did you feel like you used what you learned in the course to heal yourself of coronavirus?
Partly, yes. I used some,
Yeah.
definitely, like specific, some of the herbs that we learned in the course um, were very beneficial. And the number one is holy basil. I mean, I just love
Yeah.
that. And it's been very helpful in many situations. And it's just, it's also very soothing. So, um,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. So great. Yeah. And even though that your COVID is a more of a respiratory or vascular issue, not so much a digestion issue, you felt that some of the material carried over. And that's good. And just the general principles, I think, of Ayurveda can also provide some perspective. So, I guess I want to ask one more question here. How has the course changed you? Like, do you feel like you're different as a person in any way, or, you know, what can you say is that the course has given you?
I think I think the biggest thing is I am actually learning more about myself. That has given me a much deeper appreciation for everything, including my faith, my physical health, my emotional well-being. It has allowed me to dive deeper into more than digestion. I know digestion is the core of our learning here, but it was it was really surprising and exciting that we touch on all parts of it, because I think our whole body, our whole self does affect our digestion. I know that. And just being able to take this time, though, to incorporate every part of our being into this study and my own, you know, just my own personal life, just an overall awareness, opening up to more things. I think that is one of the biggest impacts from taking this course.
Okay, great, great. Would you recommend the course?
I do. I've already talked to a few people, and I have one gal who is very excited to check it out. So, yes, I'm already sharing it.
Great, great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking some time to share with others, you know, just your experience in the course it's really helpful for prospective students to get to look at somebody and hear from somebody what their experience was like in the program. I think that can greatly help them decide, hey, is this right for me? Is this a good fit? And I want to mention to anyone who is listening to Sherry and is interested in the course, if you have any questions about whether the course is a good fit for you, reach out to me. My cell phone is 828-785-8213. That's 828-785-8213. And if you have any questions, like, oh, you know, is this going to fit with my life? Or, oh, I have this interruption coming up in halfway through the year, or this is the kind of clinical practice I'd like to create. Will this course help in that area? I can help answer some of those questions for you. And, you know, and again, I just want to thank you, Sherry, for, you know, for sharing your experience. And it's been great having you as a student. We were all very concerned when you got COVID-19 coronavirus. And I know that from our conversations that it was an ordeal for you. And I'm just really glad to see you now looking completely healed from it and vibrant and happy. And so it's great to just great to see you on the other side.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Thanks.